Hi, welcome to the St. Petersburg-Clearwater Film Commission podcast. I'm Tony Armour, Film Commissioner for St. Pete-Clearwater, Florida, and today we're talking to Joel Malizia and Lea Umberger with Et Cultura. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
it.
As you can see, this is our Halloween episode today. You might have been able to tell little hints scattered around the
Looks
set.
great.
Our set's a little different from last week. We figured we'd move into a little different location and we can make it a little more Halloween-y. So it's all good. So why don't we start out by you guys telling me, what is Et Cultura?
Et Cultura is a multi-branch festival similar to South by Southwest, but with a much more St. Petersburg flavor. We have a full film festival, full music festival, pop-up art shows, makers,
Interactive festival.
and in the interactive, which is our major focus. Keynote speakers, panels, discussions, all based on themes, and these themes are selected by our community.
And it's every November we've done it. This is our second year for Et Cultura. We started out of a film festival that we did a few years ago and then grew into Et Cultura as the first year last year. And this year is Et Cultura St. Pete, where we're officially sponsored with the city.
Awesome.
So it's sort of a cool progression in what we've done, and we've grown the festival from last year. We started as just a we closed off 4 blocks in front of Green Bench and Baum Avenue. And this year we have spread out to a satellite venue where we're using signature events spaces all over St. Petersburg, from Janus Live, the State Theater, the Sundial is actually hosting our movie theater. So we're actually spreading out into all over the space in St. Pete and hope to keep growing it every year.
That's awesome. Well, tell the audience and tell me a little bit about some of the highlights that you've got going on at the festival this year.
The highlights I would say is just the venues that we are able to use this year. AMC is hosting our festival, a lot like Sunscreen Film Festival, but that'll be 4 days. Janus Live we have for 4 days straight. The State Theater we have for 3 days straight, and Ringside, Ruby's Elixir, Iberian Rooster, Bar 548 will have all of our music.
Right.
We are still, if you were able to come to our festival last year, we're not taking anything away from that. We're just expanding on that. So we still have all 4 blocks of Baum, and we will be there for, we'll have a music stage out there for 3 days, makers, vintage VWs, vintage motorcycle show, pinup girls,
Very cool.
beard competition.
And within the interactive, we have as Joel was mentioning, the 4 different themes, and each of those themes have guest speakers or people we have the Arrestee Speaker Series that's part of those events.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is kicking off with Live Well, which also is all about plant-based whole foods diets. And we have T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Colin Campbell, who is the leading expert in the field of that, along with people that produced and directed Plant Pure Nation, and J.D. Roth, who is the producer from My Biggest Loser.
The biggest
loser.
Sorry,
Yeah,
the biggest
right,
loser.
yeah. Not my biggest loser, but the biggest loser.
So it is a whole panel of people that are focused on that, and it gives people a place to come and have the discussion about plant-based diets. Not that we're saying that's the only way to go, but if people want to learn about it, we're giving
Something that people are interested in, and it's clearly a hot topic nowadays. So why not present some speakers?
That's it. It's not like we're pushing that angle. It's just the community. There's a large community that wanted to talk about that.
Us meat eaters don't mind eating some plants once in a while, so it's okay.
it's the balance. Then we have after that we have Future City, which is a great one, which is a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at lunchtime at Station House, so people can come over and just, if you only have time for a lunch break, there'll be different discussions on things that affect the city of St. Petersburg and sort of growth and development, and also social justice, different things that affect how a city grows.
Right.
So that's a really important thing. We have a gentleman coming in named Michael Sturtz, who is the founder of the Crucible and also creator of the Creative Ignition Lab at Stanford.
Okay.
And it's sort of the idea of how innovation and innovative thinking can grow he started with $2,000 and created an industrial arts school. And St. Petersburg has a lot of those ingredients that are there. So we're bringing people over that will help inspire sort of conversations and sort of let St. Petersburg and the community know that, what's possible out there. I know that people have great dreams, and we're just sort of there to help bring people in to inspire what that is.
That's awesome. Well, and music and film are the 2 big draws.
Yes.
Of course. So talk a little bit about the music. Can you say who's coming? I mean, let's announce something. Tell us something good.
Yeah.
Tell you some cool things.
I was hoping to be able to announce one of our headliners that we are about to sign a contract with, but we have some incredible bands. We had incredible bands last year, but this year we have Slow Dive. They've never played Florida before.
Nice.
We have people coming from the Carolinas and Jacksonville to just come see Slow Dive, which is we're excited about. Slow Dive, Sunvolt, Waxahachie, Ott. The Hip Abduction's a great local band. They're almost not local anymore because they're just touring and they're making it big.
Hani El Khatib,
Khatib.
Sunvolt,
Yep.
William Tyler. It's pretty much almost every genre of music I would think we've got covered. Queen of X, which is local.
He's great.
So
Dean Saint.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you've got so many music venues. You've got Janus Live, of course, and you've got State Theater, and then, like you said, Ruby's Elixir, and some other locations where there's going to be live music every day, basically,
every day.
Of the entire event.
Right.
And when does that time does that start? Is it like start at noon and run till 10 o'clock? How's that run as far as the schedule goes
Most
for
of
music?
them started about 7 p.m. So Wednesday night we actually have a special concert with Christopher James Band, which will be happening after the Live Well section, and that's at Janus. So he's more in the evening. I think that's a 9 o'clock start. But the other evenings start at 7, and then Saturday it's starting. I think Saturday it starts at 7 also. The only thing we have on Saturday and Sunday that's all-day music is the Florida folk scene. We have on Saturday and Sunday from starting at 12 on Saturday to about 5. We have all Florida folk scene artists that'll be playing on the Baum Avenue stage, which is free music. And then on Sunday, we also have the same thing from 2 to 7, that we have a Florida folk scene, but then we also have a record label showcase. New Granada Records, which is a Tampa record label, is bringing over 3 other bands, and they're going to sort of cap off the whole festival and sort of celebrate local music as part of what we're doing with the festival too. Every branch that we're looking at, we're trying to balance local and national leaders together and what's going on, so that there's a chance for collaboration and sort of to show off what St. Pete and what
that's
the Bay
great.
Area
That's
is
great.
doing. Yeah.
Well, and now tell me about it. But of course, this is the Film Commission. And,
Absolutely.
that's what we do is try and
yes.
bring film to this area. Tell us about some of the exciting film screenings and guests and things you've got coming in there for the film portion of the event.
Okay, so the film, we are going to specialize our film festival. We have Derek Horn as our director of programming. He's incredible. He programs for a lot of festivals around the country, and we are going to specialize in documentaries and short films.
Awesome.
And so we are using our feature-length docs as our headliners. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're only showing one film.
Right.
But they come with an experience with that. So Wednesday night we have 42 Grams. It's a movie about a 2 Michelin star chef, Jake Bickelhot. And he started. It's a documentary about a guy who started an illegal restaurant out of his apartment.
Oh, really?
Like super high end.
Supper clubs, yeah.
Yeah, like
wow.
Underground.
But he does like 10 to 16 course meals, and they're just they're incredible. But he became famous like overnight by doing this, and now he's
was that like New
established.
York City or something?
I think it's Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
I think so. He's coming in. He's
Right.
coming in for an entire week, and we're hosting a dinner with him for 8 to 14 people, and he's going to be doing a 16 course or relatively close to 16 course meal for these people, dinner and a movie type of experience.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we have Thursday. We have Dare to Be Different. Ellen Goldfarb is the director. That film premiered at Tribeca Films, and that's about a documentary about a radio station, WLIR, out of Long Island. It's the radio station that broke all the new wave in the United States.
That's cool.
In the 80s. So they are. She's coming down with a DJ that was from that
era.
So Daddy Cool Records is sponsoring that,
Yeah.
and we're going to do something fun, and we're going to encourage people to dress up like the new wave or their favorite new wave.
favorite
That's
80s.
fun.
That'll be fun.
I have a couple people I know that would probably be very interested in that. Yeah.
Well, it's cool because I love that movie sort of talks about the idea of music coming over. Now it's accessible on the internet, but this interviews and some of these people are talking about they're waiting at the docks for records to come off of a ship, and then they grab them and they run to the radio station and they play them. And it's sort of the excitement of what that was really cool. We actually got to see
The internet has kind of ruined everything.
Yeah.
now.
It's
you have to wait there. Click off, and then you're over it. Yeah, there was some
internet.
waiting. Yeah.
Oh, but you're watching this on the internet, so never mind. Yay, internet.
I remember going to see Specs or something. Those radio. They had CDs in the mall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you would just pick a CD by the cover. You know. Like,
Right. What is this?
This is gonna be good.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
have DNA and
Yeah.
I mean,
I worked at a record store in the '89 to '91 as like assistant manager record store, and the CDs would come in, and you know, what do you got? And you're just looking through stuff, and you have no idea what it is, and you know, some we would pop open for our promo stuff that you'd play, and you just get random weird stuff, and you just never know what it is. And the actual cover art, the actual cover art and stuff that you don't see now
would sell an album, you know. Nowadays, it's just you know, it's not as much heart is put into those or thought as.
Back in the day when we were listening to music.
That's what's cool about the film, though, that it brings that sort of that nostalgia of what that is, and it's great that Dali Records is part of it, and WM&F I think is also another group that's helping support that.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Movie,
So there's that. That's Thursday. Friday, we're really excited about our we landed the North American premiere of a documentary called The Key to Dali.
Yes.
And it's really exciting here in St. Petersburg because of Dali's presence here in our city. And the movie follows the story of a guy who discovered a painting 27 years ago in like an
antique shop.
Yeah, like in an antique shop, and just knew from the second he saw it, due to the colors that were used, that this is a Dali painting.
An undiscovered Dali.
An undiscovered.
Sitting in a
there were
little
some signatures
shop.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
But it wasn't conclusive. I mean, 27 years of X-rays and doing all this stuff. This tells the story of that. So of that process. And so we're flying. He's the producer is coming. The guy who discovered the painting is coming, and so is Nicholas Descharnes. He's the son of Robert Descharnes. Robert Descharnes was, I believe, Dali's lawyer and best friend.
Gotcha.
And he just spent his entire life documenting and videotaping and getting so much of Dali's life captured. He's considered one of the experts on
Dali expert. Yeah, that's amazing.
And now Nicholas Descharnes is as well. So those three people from that film are coming, and we're so excited. They just keep saying, "Do we get to go to the museum? Do we get to go?" You're gonna go.
Yes,
to the
yes.
museum,
You're gonna get to go to the Dali Museum while you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you do one thing while you're here, it should be to do
that.
Yeah. There's a display or an exhibit of Robert Descharnes' photography up right now
at the Dali.
At the Dali. So his
what
son's
cool
gonna
timing,
come over.
right?
Yeah, come over, get to see his dad's work.
His dad's work displayed in the Dali Museum.
Yeah.
Beautiful museum.
It's pretty amazing.
So there's that, and then we have we have Wasted. It's a movie produced by Anthony Bourdain, and it is all about food waste globally and what people are doing from
different chefs, different restaurants all over the world.
Right, from using like the greens that most people throw away off of cauliflower heads, you know, they turn out to be incredibly delicious, to covering the way South Korea's handling their biodegradable food waste.
Interesting.
And it's a utility. They recycle everything, and they have to weigh their food waste.
Really?
And they pay by weight what they're throwing away.
Oh wow.
So there are some incredible things. It covers the.
That would never fly.
I know,
in the
they'd be
US.
like, we're not paying.
No.
But there are some great stories. The one about Massimo. There's a gentleman in Italy that is creating a whole food movement that's feeding homeless people in Italy. That he's going to the markets because once food expires, they have to throw it away.
Right.
And so he's just showing up at the times that they throw it away, and they're giving it to him, and it becomes the meal the very next day.
Right.
So it's sort of a way, and he's actually, from that film, you sort of learn a little bit of what he's doing. He's doing that in the U.S. He's going to 4 different cities in the United States to sort of start that same process.
That is very really cool.
And then the last one, Brimstone and Glory is the one. I'm really excited about this. I don't know why, but I think that it's an oscilloscope film, and it's based on it's a documentary about the National Pyrotechnics Festival in Mexico. And it sort of goes through the history and the sort of process of these people making these fireworks and these festivals that are out there.
I didn't know there was a National Pyrotechnics
There
Festival.
is, yeah. And Tampa's such a fireworks town.
Right, yeah.
It's spectacular. It's visually
beautiful. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fireworks.
It's the same producers of Beasts of the Southern Wild, and that's sort of what initially drew me to it, because that film was so visually stunning. And so I watched the trailer and I begged Derek, I'm like, can we please get this film? So I'm really excited that that's something that we're able to.
And the film takes place in Mexico, is where they do the national.
It's actually
it's a full
documentary. It's a Spanish language film, so it's subtitled in English, but for people that are Spanish speaking as their first language, they can come in and enjoy
Or if
it
you can
too.
read English,
Yeah, if you can read.
then
Yeah,
you should be
that's
doing all
always
right.
good too,
Right?
yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the only requirement.
Long
And then the
as you-
shorts. And then the shorts.
There's a
There we have some animated shorts that are unbelievable. We were able to watch some of them. We get the screen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch
Screen
it.
ahead.
You screen ahead.
But, seen a lot of
some
movies in the last few
just-
months.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
Like you gotta. There's what is it? Garden Party. It's the
Yes.
best animation I've ever seen.
Really?
In my
it's beautiful.
entire life.
Wow.
I think it's
It
up
is-
for an Oscar.
Yeah, it is. I mean, down to like there's a frog that crawls over a patent leather shoe, and then the camera pans this way, and you see like a dirty lens. I mean, I know it doesn't sound that
Yeah, yeah.
amazing, but when you
It's
see it,
beautiful.
like they thought of everything. It is.
Wow.
It's like a.
Yeah, animated short films can be really good and a lot of fun, and there's stuff that a lot of people don't see because they take so much time to make, and a lot of times they're film students or animation students who are making these films, and these are their thesis projects,
Right.
or it's like, well, I got the next 2 years to work on this film before I graduate, so
Yeah.
they're putting years and years into it. It's 1 or 2 people, as opposed to you go to Pixar film and it's hundreds and hundreds of people making a movie or something like that. Not to put down Pixar films, because I love them; they're
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different.
But it's a
but
difference
just
to see it.
you get that different, independent animation, which is very rare and very cool to see.
Yeah, and they are putting everything they got. Their
Into that
best.
film, yeah.
because this is their resume.
Sure,
this is
yeah.
the way they're gonna get.
That's how they get jobs
That's
at
where
Pixar
they're gonna go,
and other
man.
places,
You
right?
wouldn't I can't wait for you to see it. It's so good.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Really
the
good
shorts
stuff.
are sort of then broken up into different categories too. So if you just wanted to see the animation, you can go see that.
Yep.
We have another one that's called for Halloween, Spooky Fest,
Yeah.
which will be on Friday night. So it's a section of films that are it's a curated group out of New York that creates this short film program that's all spooky film based.
Mhm.
And it's sort of a really cool. We're bringing some of those filmmakers as well to be part of that on
They're-
Friday night. Yeah.
Derek's gonna be mad that we don't remember their names.
I know.
That's okay. That's okay. You
That's
can
sorry,
tell
but-
us later, and we'll put a lower thirds on the
Yeah,
screen
lower
right here.
thirds.
Hey, Declan,
We're really
you hear
proud.
that? We
Yeah.
want a lower thirds right here. The name of these animators.
Yeah.
These filmmakers, there's 6 of them. They're all going to be here.
Yeah.
We have
Awesome.
so many filmmakers coming in for this event.
Yeah, that's the best thing. As you know, I have a lot of film festival experience as well.
Yeah.
To be able to have the filmmakers come to the area because they just want to see their films screened.
Yes.
And the fact that you guys are doing them at AMC in like a great theater in downtown St. Pete really makes a big difference. And so it's fun. That's the best part is when it makes it all worthwhile when you have all these people come in from out of town and they're experiencing the entire thing.
I think you have to pry Joel and I out of the theater. Like,
Yeah,
I'm looking at the program, I'm like, I just
Yeah.
want to sit and watch.
Well, after
But yeah,
the
you
months
could-
of preparation of getting to this point, you're like, I just want to
I
relax.
just want to watch it.
The goal is to just put everybody's art, whatever the musicians, the filmmakers, everybody, the speakers,
Pop-up artists.
just make sure that we're excited that we can provide as much. We're excited that we can put their stuff. Let me say this again. We're excited that we put them in a place that will respect their art.
Right.
So Janus, what an amazing place that people can, local and national
Yeah.
and international, to put them in there. AMC is perfect for these filmmakers to come in, and they're just
Yeah, and
really
at the Sundial, which is such a cool spot anyways.
Yeah.
It's just really neat to be able to provide that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
A platform that is just respecting the artists, and they get to see it at the top notch and hear themselves and watch
And for
themselves.
people to experience their work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Really cool.
Well, how do people find out the schedule, find out information about tickets and all that? Where, if I want to buy tickets and stuff, where do I go to do that?
The best places to go is to go to our website. You can go www.etcultura.com, or if it's easier for you to remember,
We'll put it right. We'll do that right here too.
Yeah, you go. Or ETC St. Pete also gets you to the same place. So we have both of those things, and you can buy tickets on the website. You can look at each of the individual branches on the website and find out who's doing the different events and who's speaking and what times they are. We're working on all of that. You can also follow us on Facebook, and we have all of our events listed as separate events within Facebook. So if you wanted to just check out, and you're more a Facebook person and not a website person, you can go there, and we have all the information sort of doubled in both places.
Yes.
But yeah, that's sort of the website is the key place to go for us.
Good.
The whole concept of our tickets for our
Structure, yeah.
structure of our festival
Yeah.
is all access pass. So
Yeah.
we're along with the satellite venue model that South by South not created, but that they follow.
Mm-hmm.
We also want people to have the opportunity to not just do something that they're used to, but be able to discover.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
So you buy a pass for our festival. You get to go see some films, go see bands, listen to speakers. All the pop-up art shows and all the stuff on BOM is free. So we're really just trying to offer that discovery.
Yeah, that's great.
Whether you know it or not, you're gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna find something new and unique and different
right.
that you've not seen or heard before, which is
It's
really cool.
essentially 5 days of events for $75. And if you think about it, if you went to 2 bands on 2 different nights at Janice, you would spend $80.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
So if you think about that total, or if you went to like 4 movies, you've spent that amount of money. And so we're providing films that you can go to films all week, and Saturday is 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
That's
so
great.
In 2 theaters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you could really just use the most out of what that pass is and see as many things as possible. The other really cool thing is on Sunday, that full day on Sunday is only concentrated on BOM Avenue, sort of a community thank you and a thank you to our volunteers,
Right.
and to celebrate St. Pete and Et Cultura St. Pete. And we're going to have music. There's going to be art shows. There's a projection
Chalk
mapping
Yeah.
at the end of that
Nice.
night. That is sort of our final kickoff or our final finale, and sort of getting people to know what projection mapping is, because that's another project that we're going to start working on and really including in the festival as we grow.
That's so cool. That's great. And of course, Green Bench is right there on BOM,
Yes.
so there's
Yeah.
plenty of beer
Lots of
available
beer.
for everybody who wants to come and hang out.
There might
You
even
know,
be an Et
that'll be
Cultura
going
beer.
on. Yeah. And you have an Et Cultura beer specifically for the festival that Green Bench made, right?
Green Bench
That's
is
cool.
making a Mexican lager.
That's awesome.
Again, we had it last year. It's delicious. They're doing it again, and bucket list.
Awesome. There you go. You got your own beer.
Your own beer.
Well, so to wrap up here, what we do on the show is we have this other little kind of fun segment that we do, and this is Halloween themed this year. So where is my face?
Right there.
Where's my Chucky face?
Your face is right there.
So what we do is we have this segment where we have this little Halloween face. It's going to come flying in, Halloween face, and it's Chucky. So what this is in the voice of Chucky, I'm going to give you a mashup. I'm going to give you a mashup of a couple of films, and you have 30 seconds to pitch me on what that film concept would be, essentially.
Okay.
So, do you want me to give you a little example, and I'll
Yeah.
start?
Yeah,
I'll do
you
a
do.
little small one, and I'll start. Lisa, what's my mashup? What's my mashup today, Lisa? Did we write these down? Or am I making it off the top of my head? That's okay. Well, we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling and do this. So, since this is Halloween, let's say someone said, I want Friday the 13th meets My Little Pony. So, what would Friday the 13th meets My Little Pony be in 30 seconds with the Chucky face as the mashup?
All right.
So Chucky kind of has 2 voices. He's got the "Come play with me" voice, or it's kind of one that sounds like a New Jersey trucker, I think. So I think I'll do New Jersey trucker. It's probably easier on my vocal cords. So 30 seconds, Friday the 13th meets My Little Pony. So all right, so you got this little pony, you see, and she decides that at one point in time she doesn't want to be a friendly little pony anymore. She wants to be a bad pony, a mean pony, an evil pony. So Friday the 13th seems to be the ideal day when My Little Pony goes hunting. Something like that.
With the chainsaw.
Yeah, with the
The
chainsaw.
creepiest part was you had one of your eyes poking out looking at me the whole time you were saying that. That was crazy.
I'm looking at you, Joel. I'm looking at you. So, all right, give it a shot there. And
We're
so,
doing the My Little Pony?
No, I'm going to give you a different mashup.
You're going to get a
I'm
different
just going
one.
to repeat what you said.
I'm going to give
We'll
you
do a voiceover
I'm going to
of
give you
his.
a different mashup.
Okay.
So, for example, again, we'll stick with the Halloween theme. We'll go with the classic Halloween films everybody knows.
Okay.
How about Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah? You never seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
I'm sure.
You've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, I was brought up.
Tell me a Halloween movie you've seen that you like.
Was Home Alone a Halloween movie? That was scary.
Home Alone, that was scary.
I know
Yeah.
what to say.
How about, have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yes.
How about Home Alone meets The Exorcist?
Oh God. Okay. Home Alone meets The Exorcist.
Home Alone meets The Exorcist.
Okay. Okay, you're gonna have to give me a second.
Yeah.
Home Alone versus The Exorcist.
It's a mashup.
Yeah. Okay. So, Home Alone versus The Exorcist.
Home Alone meets The
Everyone
Exorcist.
The
laughed.
Exorcist.
Combine those two movies, what would it be?
Okay. Okay. So, is this the voice? I don't know Chucky's voice, but I'll do the trucker when you did, and I'm gonna stare at you just like you did me. So this kid, he's like sitting around home, right? And he goes upstairs. I don't even know what to say. He goes upstairs and he sees this girl with her head on backwards, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And then these guys come around and they get an iron in the face, and he trips on some paint buckets, and the girl's like crawling around like a spider monkey. And you got to see this film. It's really good because the girl pukes everywhere, and the little boy ends up being okay, and the parents come home.
Call Lionsgate.
Oh no.
That'll sell it.
Oh, man.
That
sold it.
That's a pitch for
All I will
for
say is
anything.
I wish my sister was here because this was her favorite movie as a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh
so,
my God.
So you've seen the Chucky movies then, of
No,
course.
I actually haven't.
You
because
haven't?
They terrify me, but.
So again, so you tell me a Halloween movie, one of your favorite Halloween movies.
One of my favorite Halloween movies. It's not really a Halloween
Nightmare
movie.
on
No, Edward Scissorhands. But
Edward
it's not really
Scissorhands, that's not
Halloween.
really
Or,
Halloween.
How about
Nightmare Before Christmas. Do I
Christmas?
remember that well enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Jack.
So Nightmare Before Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So how about Nightmare Before Christmas meets what should the mashup be?
Nightmare Before Christmas meets Nightmare Before Christmas meets Night of the Comet. That's another Halloween.
Night of the
scary.
Comet.
like,
Have you ever seen Night of That's a
Remember
great
I
movie
was like,
though.
I'm like, I don't
That
know
one
that.
scared me.
I love that.
Nightmare
Night of the
Before
Comet.
Christmas meets.
So how about Nightmare Before Christmas
Thelma and Louise.
meets Thelma and Louise? Great one. That's great.
Oh wait, okay. All right, give me that's good.
Yeah,
Give me
good.
a few minutes. Thelma and Louise killed her husband, her boyfriend, drive off a cliff.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas, they have to save Santa, right?
Don't ask me.
I'm trying to remember.
I
I
had
just
no
remember.
help.
I just remember the images. I know there's Jack.
What about maybe have you seen Halloween, like the Michael Myers Halloween movies? No.
I don't watch scary movies.
I don't either. To be
She
honest
doesn't
with
put
you.
in what she
scary?
can't take
Because
out.
they scare me.
They do. I do. I'm like if once it's in my head, it's in
Yeah,
my head.
my mom
But
always said.
you're familiar with that or Nightmare
I know.
or the Saw movie.
I know,
I've never seen a Saw movie either.
I know the Freddy.
You know Freddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that scared the crap out of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Nightmare on Elm Street
Mm-hmm.
meets Thelma and Louise, pitched by Chucky?
Got it. And what's the high squeaky voice? Hello guys. Like that. Is that good?
Whatever voice you
Okay,
want.
I'm gonna
Whatever
try
you
that.
think-
man.
I don't think I can do the
Whatever
Willy Trucker
voice you think is
but
going to
maybe I
sell this
could.
movie, sell us this movie, and whatever voice you think is going to do it.
Thelma and Louise meets.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, just pretend.
I know. I'm gonna do it. Whew, okay. So there are these two ladies that are friends, and there's this guy named Freddy who comes by, and one of the girls named Thelma kills the Freddy, and then Thelma and Louise run away and drive off a cliff after meeting Brad Pitt. The end. Sorry, terrible.
Well, you've got
Oh,
Brad
I
Brad
enjoyed
Pitt in
Brad
it,
Pitt.
so it's going to sell anyways.
Yeah.
So, all right, great. Well,
It's all about the stars.
thank you guys for humoring us today on
Oh,
our
We're
thanks
like
for
the
on
worst
our
at
show
spooky
here.
movies.
Well,
We
you
gotta
know,
go
my
watch
mom
some
always
scary
said,
movies.
"Don't put in
Next
what you
time,
can't get."
we'll come up with something different next time. So,
No, we're happy to do it.
Yeah.
thanks again
you.
for being on the
Yeah,
show.
thank you.
Everybody,
Thank
Et
you, guys.
Cultura coming up November 15th to the 19th. Get your tickets online at etcultura.com, and we'll see you there. All right. Welcome to our next segment here on the Film Commission podcast. We have Jacob Pierce and Lisa Dozois, both with the Film Commission office. And this is the segment where Jacob usually does a little tech tips or an unboxing of a product. And today, Jacob, why don't you tell us what you're gonna show the good people of the internet?
All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about Lightroom. I have just a quick tutorial on how to upload some photos into it, some raw photos, how to shoot raw photos on your camera, and then how to edit the image itself using basically raw editing in Lightroom, and I can give you a little tutorial.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
do it, because I actually have not used Lightroom before, and I've got a new fancy camera
Right.
that I've been shooting raw images in, and I want to know how to use it. So
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not worried about what everybody else is learning here today, but I want to learn something. So
And I want to learn how to get better.
yeah.
All right.
Using it, so
Okay, good.
this is going to be good for me.
All right, awesome. So you've been using Photoshop for the most part to
Yes,
edit?
correct. Yep.
Okay. So the difference between Photoshop and Lightroom is Photoshop is going to give you all the same abilities to edit your shadows and highlights and exposure and all those different things. But Lightroom helps you catalog and categorize your images a lot easier, so you can store them easier, and you don't have to have a ton of folders everywhere that you have to access with Photoshop. This way you have it all built into one program, basically. So it makes it a little bit easier to streamline, especially if you're using Lightroom professionally, if you're doing production stills, or if you're doing weddings or portraits or whatever it might be. This is one way to help keep you organized as well as give you a good quality editing software.
And I see you've got some pictures today, some behind-the-scenes pictures from Dead Ringer, which is
Yes.
a film that's shot here in the St. Petersburg-Clearwater area, came in
Right.
from the UK. So why don't you show us a little bit what you got here with
Yeah.
these pictures?
So let me go ahead and click that. All right, so what we have here is some images. Sorry, I was just recording the screen here, so you guys should be able to see my screen on your end. So what I'm going to first do is pop into Lightroom, basically open it up, and I'm going to import my images. So you come down here, click import. I'm going to start just from the beginning. I already have these images imported, but I'll just show you how easy it is to basically pull images over. So I went into my desktop, click on Dead Ringer Production Stills, choose those images, and here you have a screen where you can select the images that you'd like to upload. So I have pretty much the same image here twice, so one of these you can click the check mark on and remove that. This
Just
is
highlight the ones that you want,
right,
and bring in the ones that you want.
right.
For use, basically. Comments from the peanut gallery here. Apparently, he does not like the direction that this tutorial is going in right now. Fortunately, all you have to do is take his batteries out and just shut him up. So, sorry for the interruption, Jacob.
So apparently he doesn't like my photos, maybe. I don't know. But so
Dead Ringer got him.
so this is one way for you to cull images, and culling images basically going through the images that you want to keep and the ones that you want to remove from your set. So you can cull them before you import, or you can do what I do is most of the time I'll just cull them after. So I won't go through every single image prior to the import. I'll just import them and then select them as we go on. So it gives you a few options here. You can add keywords to them, or you can add metadata.
You can do that in bulk, so you could take like a whole group of images and just add Dead Ringer as the keyword, or behind the scenes, or whatever.
Exactly.
You want.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so you go ahead and click import. You'll see the images will begin to pull over onto my computer. Most of the time I'll use a hard drive. So some of the newer computers don't have a large hard drive on them anymore. There isn't a lot of storage. So most of the time you'll have a hard drive to go along with it, and you'll import directly to the hard drive.
Right.
So basically now all of our images are importing here, and you have a progress bar up here on the left that tells you how long it's taking for the operation to complete. So this import right now it's finished, but what it's going to do is it's going to give me a one-by-one preview, so you can select the different type of preview that you want for your image. So if you want the image, when you select it and open it, for it to immediately be able to zoom in to one by one, then you'll want to select that. If you want your images to import faster, then you can unselect that, or you can make it so that it's the preview images are much smaller. But what's going to happen is when you go to zoom into the photo, it's going to take a moment for that to load. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're doing post-processing. My suggestion is, especially if you have a lot of images and raw images, then you're going to want to upload them one by one previews, and just let your computer sit and upload them all at the same time. So
show us what you normally do when you get one in here, then something you like, and how what you do to clean it up.
Yeah, so I have an image here I think what I'll do is I'll try to show you how I could repair an image. So this, using raw images, and if you're not shooting raw on your camera and you're a professional photographer, or if you're doing production stills, I would highly suggest shooting raw because it just gives you so much more information in the image. You can pull so much more highlights and shadows and exposure inside the image. So it's just a much better way to shoot. If you were to have an image like this where your highlights are all blown out, you have the option to pull your highlights and shadows down, and you can, or your highlights and exposure down, and pull out the shadows. You can basically make this image back to or to a regular image, so it's not, or so that it's evenly exposed as opposed to overexposed. So that's one thing that you can do. And so you see here that you have this slide bars on the right here that give you a few different options. You have exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks, and then you have clarity and vibrance, so you can boost the colors in your image. So you have a lot of different options here as to what you can do with the image. You have tones. You can use curves inside Lightroom.
And Lightroom will pull in the raw images natively. You don't need to convert them before you pull them in?
It depends. Sometimes you'll need to convert them. If somebody, like I shoot with Canon.
Like in Photoshop, you have to convert the images before you can bring them into Photoshop from raw into something that Photoshop can read.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, so depending on what type of image that your computer recognizes. So I'm not exactly fully 100% sure as to how it works, but I know that when I shoot with a Nikon camera, I have to convert the files into a digital negative to be able to upload it, because they don't shoot the same raw files as my computer recognizes.
Right. Sure.
So I imagine that you can download that software that
and each camera probably comes with it. You can go to the Canon website,
right,
or Nikon or whatever, and get that for your computer, so
right,
that it's recognizing the raw.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's most likely what I did. At some point, you just download the raw file recognizer. I think if you have Canon Utility, it'll recognize raw.
Right.
But then you have, if you're shooting with Sony, it'll be different.
Sure, something a little different.
So
right, good. What other little tips and tricks you want to show us here before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so you have a few different options here. If you're shooting with a wide angled lens, you can use lens correction. You can fix that kind of fisheye look if you have that, and that'll help correct that. And you can add vignette, or you can remove it. So that's another really cool thing you can do. You can do noise reduction. So if you have really high noise, you can just simply use the slide bar here, and it'll remove your noise from it. You can sharpen the image. You can pull all the colors out of it that you'd like. So if you want there to be more greens here, you can pull those greens, and they'll become more vibrant, more oranges. So that's a lot of the tools that I'll use in here. And you have your temperature too.
And then what do you do to organize it? You said you're organizing within. Is that you typically do that on the front end when you're importing everything?
Yeah. So see here on the left-hand side of the screen here. Let's give it a second to load. See, we have our folders here. So you can have an organized structure of your folders. You can have a folder hierarchy. So I have mine set up as VSPC, in progress, and then uploaded images. So I can know if I needed to go start working on images, I know the ones that I need to work on are the ones that say in progress. So that's one way that I help keep that things a little bit organized on my end.
Sure.
So that's one really easy way to do it. You can also store them on your computer too. You don't necessarily need to use a hard drive. But you see that our Lightroom also has catalog options too, so you can have multiple catalogs. So if you wanted one catalog for all of your personal items, or one catalog for work, or for whatever it might be, like if you have, if you wanted to do just production stills in one catalog, or right. So that's another thing that you can do as well, and that way you can further hone in on
yeah. And like any software, really, you have to start using it to learn it, to practice it, and everything. Right. So. Adobe Lightroom is, part of the Create a Suite package, or if you're a photographer that's really going to be doing anything, it's a necessary tool, basically.
Right.
So, great.
Do you have a quick tip about exporting? We're
yeah.
Time. That's what trips me up.
Yeah, so to export, I just basically will select the image that I want to export, or if you want to export multiple images, you can do that. So we'll select a few. And then you come in here and you right click on the images, and then you hit export. And you can either hit export with more options, or you can hit export with previous.
Okay.
So if you've already exported images into a folder and you've changed the name of the image and you've already changed all the settings, then you can just export with previous, and it'll immediately add those images into that folder. So when you have your export dialog box open here, you can choose where you want to export it. So if you want to go to the desktop, you can select desktop. You can put it in a subfolder in the desktop, that's what I'll normally do. So I'll just type in Dead Ringer Stills here.
And you're exporting these as like as a JPEG then, because you're not going to re-export them in RAW. You've already edited it in RAW, and then you're going to export it in a format that you can take a look
Exactly.
at.
The numbering, how do you get it to number them sequentially?
Yeah, so you can come in here to File Naming, and you can click Rename To, and it has a few different options here. So you have Custom Name Original File Number, or you can have Custom Name Sequence, or you can just have it say File Name Sequence. So if you wanted that to stay the same, but a lot of the times what I'll do is do a custom name. So I'll just rename these Dead Ringer.
And then it'll automatically number them, Dead Ringer 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. Yep. And then you come down here to File Settings. So if you wanted to do a JPEG, you can check JPEG or a PSD, a Photoshop file, or a TIFF, or a digital negative you can do. And then you can select the quality, and you can select if you want to limit the file size to a certain size, you can do that, or you can change the size of them. You can select 300 dpi, so if it's for print, you can do that. So, and then you pretty much just hit export, and it'll begin to export your images. And so, yep.
Great. Well, thank you, Jacob, for the tips and tricks with Lightroom today, and we'll look forward to seeing more from you on the next podcast.
Thank you.
All right, so now is Lisa's favorite part of the podcast. This is our news segment. So Lisa's going to tell us some entertainment, film, TV news, something exciting, something not so exciting, something great, something bad. I don't know. I'm going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised because we don't know what she's going to say. But she only has 60 seconds to give us the news. So go.
Actually, I have exciting news today. Local actor and filmmaker Joe Davison, he's going to be having a recurring role on the hit Netflix series Stranger Things. The new season premieres on October 27th, and if you've not seen this series, I highly recommend you watch it, and it's definitely binge-worthy.
It's awesome, yes.
Yeah, it is. And all right, now, new topic, there's a nationwide organization called the Women in Film and Television, and the Florida branch just added a new chapter, so now that brings it up to 5, and we just had the local chapter, the Tampa Bay chapter, meets third Wednesday of every month. We just finished the October session, and they had a record 175 people show up at that event. They had a lot of new signups, and definitely if you're interested, mark your calendars for November 15th at the Epicurean in Tampa and December 20th at the new Hyatt downtown St. Pete. And Variety has chosen this year's new leaders, 8 of them, and they're all under 40, and they're all awesome, and a lot of them are women.
As 60 seconds is up, apparently.
All right.
So Lisa could see everybody prepping back there off camera with the arms warming up. You know, that's when she knows to talk fast. So, well, that was our news segment. Thanks for tuning into the podcast today. So, if you like this podcast, like it, share it, subscribe. We want you to subscribe so that we can continue to share our podcast with you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.